We already knew Pokemon Legends Arceus was going to be a big departure from traditional Pokemon games, but after playing it extensively, we can confirm it is truly a Pokemon experience unlike any other. The spirit of Pokemon is intact along with a lot of the basic ideas, but plenty of what we've become familiar with over the last 25 years has been reworked to create a different flow for this installment. To get you ready for your wildest Pokemon adventure yet, we've put together a list of the biggest changes in Pokemon Legends Arceus. First off, while nobody is going to compare Arceus to Dark Souls, it is much more action-oriented than previous games, with a lot of changes to help keep quicker-paced gameplay front and center. Gone are the days of getting dragged into a fight with every Zubat. You choose to initiate turn-based battles, and you can even physically run away from wild Pokemon battles if you change your mind. Personally, I found myself using the new stealth mechanic to catch Pokemon more often than battling them. There are still trainer battles and tough fights with wild Pokemon, like with the new aggressive alpha Pokemon, so don't worry about not having enough opponents. The classic gameplay loop of traveling from town to town and earning gym badges is completely replaced in Legends Arceus. Instead, there's a main village you call home and several large open areas around the region. It's not quite a classic open world, but each map is huge with several fast travel points. Legends Arceus is set well before Pokemon battles became popular enough to build an entire society around, so instead there are story-driven main missions and a Pokedex you need to fill from scratch. More on how to do that later. You can also take on side quests handed out by NPCs that reward basic items, but others grant helpful unlocks, just like in a more traditional RPG. Another common RPG mainstay that Legends Arceus spotlights is crafting. You really do need to actively spend some time collecting materials to craft things to make the most out of an expedition. You can even farm to help cut down on your need to harvest materials while out in the world, which is huge because now you have to manage your inventory space. You can upgrade your carrying capacity over time, but even if you do max out your satchel space, you still need to remember to manage your inventory at this suspiciously familiar blue box. If you don't, you'll be kicking yourself when you're forced to leave behind valuable items, something that we never had to worry about in Pokemon games past. In Legends Arceus, you're responsible for the very first Pokedex in the region, so catching a Pokemon just once won't fully reveal its Pokedex entry. You have to do specific research tasks for each Pokemon in order to learn more, which makes completing this Pokedex decidedly more complicated, which not only unlocks new areas to explore, but also determines the level of Pokemon you can command and more. There are no TMs in Legends Arceus, but a move tutor is available right away. You'll unlock even more moves with her as you increase your star ranking, and though they're expensive, you never have to worry about wasting them because each time a Pokemon learns a new move in Legends Arceus, it's added to its permanent move pool. Being able to swap moves anywhere so long as you're not in a battle is definitely a game changer. While other Pokemon adventures are generally pretty lighthearted, Pokemon Legends Arceus isn't afraid to get a little more serious. Just about every NPC recognizes the dangers of exploring the wilderness and comment on how you very well could die out there. In this time period, your 15-year-old character is considered of age, so it makes sense the real adults are fine with throwing you to the shinks. Not only that, but for the first time in a Pokemon game, your character can and will be attacked by wild Pokemon, to the point of fainting yourself. If you do need to be rescued from the wilderness, you'll leave behind a bag with some of your items wherever you fell. You can't retrieve your own lost bags, but other players online can retrieve them for you. That isn't much in the way of a direct multiplayer mechanic, but you can still trade with other players both local and online. However, as of now, you can't battle with anyone else. Pokemon's underlying IV-EV stat system is a notoriously tedious yet arguably rewarding mechanic. Love it or not, Legends Arceus pretty much scraps it, likely to keep players focused on the new gameplay elements instead of min-maxing their Pokemon. In Legends Arceus, Pokemon don't have individual values, there is no breeding, and you can't EV train them in the traditional sense. Instead, there's a new, more transparent system called effort levels, which can be seen on the stats page and are increased only by using certain items. Effort levels and natures are what make a Pokemon unique in Legends Arceus, and the system is much less tedious, especially when considering nature-changing mints are back. The grind in Legends Arceus is found in completing the Pokedex, collecting that effort level boosting grit, and finding collectibles in the world. Battles are still a turn-based affair, but enough has changed to make a noticeable difference in how you play them. For instance, while there are still separate physical and special stats, buffs and debuffs now simply affect offensive and/or defensive stats, and will wear off over time during a battle. Some status effects are brand new, while others have been updated or replaced entirely. Sleep, for example, is now drowsy. Instead of making Pokemon completely unable to act, drowsy Pokemon take more damage and sometimes miss their whole turns. And in Legends Arceus, the order of actions and how many each Pokemon can take in a row is determined by stats and other factors, like if a move is chosen in strong or agile style. And this all allows for very strategic and dynamic battles even without the inclusion of abilities and held items. Okay, this one is just for fun, but an individual Pokemon's size actually affects how they look when you take them out of their Pokeballs. Look at these good big fluffs! The alpha Pokemon are the largest of the species you can find, and it's just a lot of fun seeing the differences. Those are the biggest differences we found during our time so far with Pokemon Legends Arceus. Let us know if you've noticed any others, and stay tuned for our full review and, of course, our complete guide to your first adventure in the Hisui region. For all your other Pokemon needs, you're already in the right place, IGN.